Hello. Yes, I'm back on election night. Hello. No, I'm not bringing you any information on the election. Are you tired of it? I'm ready for it to be over, and it's not going to be until the weekend. So, I was thinking earlier I would do something and put it up, something that gave me a little joy, and hopefully it would bring you a little joy as well. And, you know, if you're interested, on Instagram, Column is showing they're showing animals, cute animals. Right now they got turtles running. I can't do that. I don't have any cute animals here. Well, there's a dog, but he's doing his own thing. So it is also the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. Yes, and so I thought I would talk a little bit about Godzilla. And many others have said more than I'm going to say tonight or on this video. But I want to say something about how I relate to Godzilla, or the genre, kaiju genre. I first saw Godzilla and kaiju movies at a very young age. I'm 61, going to be 62 in December. And I'm going to say roughly 8 years old, probably 1970. I was watching on our local ABC affiliate when we used antennas and could pick up signals through the air. We didn't have cable. That sort of thing didn't exist back then. I would stay up after the news on Saturday night. About 11:30, Shock Theater would come on, and it was hosted by the weatherman, local weatherman there. We didn't have a horror movie host per se, like I know there's Cinema Insomnia and other programs that were across the country. We just had a local Shock Theater. And a lot of times they would show like the classics like Dracula, Frankenstein, that sort of thing. I'd watch those. Those were okay. They'd show some Hammer films once in a while. I didn't really get into those at the time, though I do like them now. And some other miscellaneous like B-movie, sci-fi stuff, that sort of thing. But every once in a while, they would show kaiju. And I would wait for those. I would love it when they would show up. I'm like, why don't they show more? And as a little kid, the way they made those things, the kaiju never showed up until about halfway through the film. And it was always a struggle for me to stay awake. I tried, and I'd fall asleep. And my grandfather would come in, pick me up, put me to bed. He'd pick me up and I'd pretend to stay asleep. But I just love that. That was just, it really was special for me even back then. And remembering it is special for me now. So I have this connection of this really nice thing happening to me as a child and kaiju movies. And so, even back then, I think I saw Destroy All Monsters. It had to be on Shock Theater. It had to be like either very early cable or Shock Theater, and that was always my favorite. I loved Destroy All Monsters because you had all the monsters there. Who wouldn't? What kid or early teen wouldn't love that? My favorite one. But the thing is, even as a kid, I paid attention to what was happening with the people, and seeing these people. Because I live here in the South. I grew up in North Carolina. And, my window onto the world was through film. And it was up until into my teenage years. I would see other parts of the world through film. And so I would notice their buildings and how they were different. I would notice the people, how they looked a little different. Everything, the cities as well as the countryside, and it was fascinating to me. I wanted to know more, so I can thank kaiju movies for that. I really can. The styles of dress even were different. And so, it continued. It continued on with me when I got older. Eventually, the Godzilla movie appeared in theaters, and I could go. I could see Godzilla on the big screen. The very first one of those I remember seeing on the screen was Godzilla versus the Bionic Monster. Now, I know it's Mecha Godzilla, okay? So that would have been 72. I would have been like, or 73, because there was the delay to get them to the States. So let's say 73. So I would have been 10 or 11 years old at the time. Probably 10. And they called it the Bionic Monster because, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, they were kind of popular. It could have been later too. Now I'm thinking about it, it was probably a little later. It was maybe it was a couple years, because bringing over kaiju films and showing them on the screens, especially in little Winston-Salem, that would have been like a 250 show or something. So I'm going to say a couple years later. And so the distributor, I didn't know this at the time, I was like, whatever. They obviously renamed Mechagodzilla to take into the popularity of the whole Bionic Man and Bionic Woman on TV. In some places in America it was called the Cosmic Monster. So anyway, I would see that. I think I want to say the next one I saw on the screen, because it was, of course, the 80s. We didn't get those in movie theaters. Nowhere around me. None of the ones that came into the 80s and 90s until Godzilla 2000. And I remember taking my son to that one. And I think that was the only one he and I have ever gone to see together in a theater. He's older now. My son is 32. And he's having his own child in a few days. It's going to be a boy. I'm starting to get a little... If I start crying, I apologize. But I remember taking him to see Godzilla 2000 in the theater. And I don't really think he wanted to go see it, to be honest with you. I think he was just doing it to please me. And we didn't sit in the front row like when I was a kid. I like to sit in the front row, but we sat a little further back. I was older, and I was like, oh, we don't have to sit in the front row. We'll sit further back. And I think he enjoyed it. I got the feeling he did. I think he appreciated me taking him to the movies, and I liked it. It was Godzilla, of course. And it was, one other thing. It was, the 54 original. It was a long time before I saw that film. It was hard to find in the United States until finally they released it on, I think, I either had a bootleg DVD of it. I know you were like, bootleg DVDs, why would you do that? You can just stream them now. Well, back in the day, when there was no such thing as streaming, you passed around copies of DVDs or copies of VHS or beta tapes or whatever. But I either had a bootleg DVD or a real DVD of it before I ever saw it. And I was like, wow. I was old enough to where I could appreciate it, for what it was. As a kid, that probably would have been boring for me, to be honest. So I'm glad I saw it as an adult. I tried to we have in Winston-Salem, where I'm from, I don't live there now. We had like a local film club that would show movies once a month at a theater in town. And I tried to get them to screen it. They wouldn't do it. This was when they had restored it and re-released it to the States. They either couldn't get it or didn't want to do it. I don't know. But once it was on DVD, I had it. I got that thing, and I still have a copy today. I got the Criterion collection with all the Showa era movies. Love that Criterion. Thank you so much. As an adult, I really appreciated it. The work involved, the underlying meaning in the movie about Godzilla, the whole thing with the ship and the atomic testing. Yeah, it's a powerful film, a very powerful film, and I think it holds up. I think it's still a great movie. And as an adult, I've continued to watch these films, and will continue to watch them now that Toho has said, "Hey, guess what? The director of -1, he's coming back with another one." I am so there. I am there for it. That film blew me away. I did not know what to expect. I went to the theater night one. I saw that film 3 times in the theaters. I saw it twice in the color version and once black and white. I saw it in IMAX. That's the only. Sorry. That's the only Godzilla film to ever make me cry. And the only other time related to Godzilla that I've ever cried was a few years ago. It must have been, golly, I don't know, at least 10 years now. Here in Charlotte, Hiro Nakajima came to Charlotte at a convention here, and I found out about it. So I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go see him. So I went with a couple friends of mine. I gave them a camera. I have a picture of me with him. If I can find it, I'll throw it up here so you guys can see it. I even wore like a jacket and everything, and I still have that too. I bought a copy of the original Godzilla one sheet, and I got him to sign it for me. And I tell you what, my inner gut feeling was that little kid on the couch. And I was just like, oh yeah, yeah. Two times that Godzilla made me cry. And it's making me cry right now remembering that stuff. Sorry, guys. I know. An old man, I start crying. Anyway, -1 made me look at Godzilla like a real threat. It made me cheer for the people in the movie, and I could connect with them. I liked them. I would watch a movie about the people in that movie. Get Godzilla out, give me a movie about those people. I like those people. Really, Toho, I'd be fine with that. And it's that connection that got me to be emotional. God, I hope he's able to do that again. That movie deserved an Oscar, not just for special effects, but also for it needed to be nominated as just a movie. Excellent movie. So I've gone on too long here. Didn't mean for it to go this long, and I apologize for crying and everything. I do want to thank Toho. I want to thank Honda, Ikefube, Nakajima, Tanaka, Tsuburaya, Kayama, and a list of, I'm sure, hundreds of other people that have been involved making these movies, not just Godzilla, but Mothra, the X from outer space, Gamera, all these kaiju, Gorgo, Reptilicus even, all these kaiju movies I grew up with. Thank you all so much. It's been a part of my life. And it kept that little boy really happy. And that's why I continue to watch them today. God, my voice is breaking. And as a matter of fact, it kept the little boy up late at night. And an old man entertained. Thank you. If you've continued to watch till now, please like and subscribe. I'd love to get to 10,000 viewers or 10,000 subscriptions. I think I'm a little over 5,000 at this point. And hey, let's keep watching Godzilla. Bye, folks.